Want to see what it's like to be on one of my lives talking about nature, spirit, and commerce?
One of the worst things that we can do our entire life is just claim that we're victims and we're powerless. But really, the truth is that we are the ultimate authorities over our entire conscious body and mind and control everything. So once you get out of the victim mentality and start getting into the I'm the sovereign and embodying through your energy, thoughts, and consciousness and light, you can start to shape your reality through all the contracts that you keep on a day-to-day basis. A state national is just a corporation that you can use as a tool also, okay? Now, the state national is outside of U.S. jurisdiction, and that's why I try to tell everybody, do not use Federal Reserve notes. On my last live, I had somebody saying, oh, you're saying never to use Federal notes. No, you can use Federal Reserve notes. The U.S. citizen can use Federal Reserve notes. I'm not saying never not use it, never not engage in it. I'm just saying if you're going to try to represent a state national and you're going to mess with someone else's property like that, like a Federal Reserve note, be very, very careful, because you can it's someone else's, you're giving up jurisdiction if you're engaged in that type of manner. A state national would want to trade and barter and deal in silver and commodities and stuff like that, not deal with that worthless Federal Reserve note. Now, you can do it in trust. A state national is a corporation that can be the trustee of another trust and can deal in that manner. You can create something just like the U.S. system. So here's how the U.S. system works: is it has 4 liens on it off the gate. It has a federal lien, a state lien, a medical lien, and a Social Security lien on it from the gate. Now, when you create your own trust, if you're going to be engaged in public commerce, right, and you're going to register it to do public business, it has a higher tax liability typically if you're engaged in for-profit, because it doesn't have all those liens on it. You are not taxed on who you are. You're taxed on how you do business. And it's as simple as that. Like I said, we aren't taught all these things, but it just depends on how you do business. Now, you can create your own trust that is outside of all jurisdictions, and it's sovereign, and it deals and trades and barters in commodities, and there's no taxes. So it's up to you how you do your business. The benefits of being a national is you get to be self-governing, and you get to be responsible, and you get to operate an entity that is outside of U.S. jurisdiction that can hold true title to property. You get to control what you create. You didn't create the Federal Reserve System. You didn't create the Federal Reserve note. It's a medium of exchange that a bankrupt corporation is using as a fiat currency that is backed by a human's promise to pay one day. Okay? The Federal Reserve note is both public and private, but it is debt. It is debt. It is not. The public holds debt in the public. Assets are in the private. The public is bankrupt and can only hold debt. That's why the U.S. citizen who is a franchise of the U.S. who is bankrupt cannot hold assets. So one of the problems with misinformation, as soon as you start becoming awake a little bit, everything seems so intriguing and amazing, because it's like everything I ever knew was false. And so now all these rabbit trails are so amazing and interesting to go down, but a lot of them have a lot of false information. And that is why foundations are so very important, because once you start laying the foundations, you can build upon it, having the truth and the knowledge and the life and the light. And the reason for that is they've done studies. And if the person is believing what they're saying, the most powerful energy when trying to convey stuff is from someone who is being authentic. And that is why we all get deceived so easily, is because a lot of these people that are teaching this stuff believe it with their heart, mind, and body and soul, and they're trying to convey it out to convince other people, even though it's false information, right? And we have this humane ability that just wants to believe everything. And that's why it is easier to deceive someone than it is to convince them that they have been deceived. So if you've gotten the opposing party into a private administrative procedure agreement that says that the issue is no longer there, then you can either record it in the public, or you can, if you've come from the republic in the private, you want to put it through a letters rogatory and then show up into the proceedings to have, by reference, closing of the higher court's decision, which is you, for the matter. And I'll tell you why, because, and this blew my mind, all of the courts and all of the basically branches of the government are not profit. All of the entities from the U.S. that are out there doing the affairs of the United States are not profit entities, so they don't have to pay taxes. And that blew my mind. I thought for sure they were all profit, but then it makes sense to me. They're all not for profit. They're all set up to funnel money to the crown, and they don't pay taxes because their job is to get money to funnel to the crown. So it would just be like double sending money to the crown.